mom. A lot of my friends who've thrived after their divorces, it was just because they married some rich guy who took care of them, which is really sad that a woman after divorce has no other options than to be financially provided for by a man. I happened to fall in love with a school teacher who gives half of his income to his ex-wife and kids and doesn't get paid enough for anything. But also, even if Kevin was a multimillionaire, you know what, that's not true. If Kevin was a millionaire, I might let him sugar daddy me. I gotta be honest. I would still be independent. I would still be working on my own life because of what happened to me the first time, and because that's something that I deeply believe in. So this is not my car, this is Kevin's car, and this is a 2017 Volkswagen that is constantly falling apart that we can't sell because Kevin's upside down in it. So this is not like some luxury SUV or something. So it's just really tragic in our society that we don't teach women to be self-reliant outside of grow up, get married, and have a man take care of you. And in my generation, I was born in the early 70s, the women who did do that, the women who had careers, I had a couple of my friends' moms that worked, they were the outliers, they were the exception. I was never taught any skills around financing, budgeting, saving, retirement, how to go to college and actually get a job that actually paid for anything. I was raised from my school teachers to my college counselors to my family, the community that I lived in, everything around me, both people who directly gave me advice and people that I was picking things up from just the community around me and replicating those thoughts and behaviors. I was taught to grow up and be a wife and that my husband would take care of me. And that's dangerous. It's been 11 years since you've dated. That's a long time. Yeah, the system is corrupt. I feel the same, but I'm a man. I went through, yeah. It's really sad to me too, whenever I do videos on feminist issues, like, you know, a man is not a plan, stop breeding with narcissists. It's really sad to hear all of the comments from men who feel like women are horrible to them, because really our whole society is just exploiting one another. And when I hear my nieces and my younger college daughters talking about wishing that they had a sugar daddy, and I see these men, like my ex-husband within our Mormon system, worked his ass off to support 5 kids and a wife and still keep up with all of his Mormon church callings and everything. The exploitation of men is as sad and as problematic as the stay-at-home mom issue for women, and neither one of them should exist. Women need to stop exploiting men. This is a conversation that I actually have with my college daughters all the time. If Chloe goes out to dinner with a guy and he pays and she comes home, we always have the conversation. Don't exploit the men. Pay for your own dinner or don't go to dinner. So my kids have different behaviors than probably some other college kids when they're dating. How did I trust Kevin? So Kevin and I are starting a series of lives. We'll start tomorrow, and that's some of the things that we're going to address. It's definitely tricky to be the partner of somebody who has been betrayed and abused. Kevin's had to learn some skills and be extra patient in ways that he wouldn't have to be with somebody else. And it was really difficult for me. I will say, like, just there's a one-word answer: therapy. So much therapy. Therapy and really being educated and understanding how to communicate and using common sense about things. Yeah, why is it that we even have this culture? Like I hear so many men, I have so many men in my comment sections all the time whenever I talk about issues around marriage and whatever the topic is, which I know that I'm very feminist and very female centric in a lot of my content because I'm a woman. And I have these men that I really am deeply compassionate for. I am the mom of sons. I am the partner of a beautiful man. And I am as connected to men's issues as I am to women's issues. I just don't like to bring it into my page very often because I don't want to trigger all the ladies that are there that are in domestic violence and bad marriages and things like that. But it is really sad to hear these men talk about, like, every time I go out on a date, I'm paying for dinner, I'm buying her everything, buying her flowers, telling her she's beautiful, and she treats me like crap. Well, that's not an equal partnership for either one of them. Men, like women, shouldn't have the expectation that a man pays for dinner. When I was dating, Jake and I were separated for 3 years, and I dated off and on, and then I dated for 2 years after our marriage ended. So I had a hefty number of years that I was dating before I met Kevin. I always paid for my own dinner. I always paid for whatever we were doing. If we're going to a concert, cool. I'll pay for the tickets. You can reimburse me for yours. The exploitation of men is really, really, really unfair. I'm happy with the partnership long term. So Kevin and I, like every year, I revisit that issue with my accountant, and we go through things like, will I qualify for Kevin's retirement if we aren't legally married? Would I get his Social Security? Would Kevin, are we doing everything that we can to ensure that we're financially cared for within the relationship? That, like, it was really scary for me going in for my surgery when I knew that Kevin may have to make some life or death decisions around me. Should I throw a blood clot? Should I have a major cardiac event? It was really scary. So I had to consult with my attorney and make sure, like, everything that we have in place gives Kevin the decision-making power, even though we're not legally married. So Kevin and I don't think that anybody should get married. I would never get married again. If we ever do get married again, it will be as we age, because otherwise I wouldn't be entitled to retirement, etc.